You're looking for creative ways to get more budget-friendly with your production setups. We're here at the Village Church in Flower Mound, Texas with Wes Ashworth, the production manager. Wes, what room are we in here?
Yeah, we're in one of our kids' spaces we call KV1, Kids Village 1.
Okay, and I assume a lot of what you guys do here production-wise is fueled by volunteers.
Yeah, absolutely.
And what are some, maybe some high priority, high level spots in the worship center on Sundays that aren't typically staffed with volunteers?
Yeah, really the only one that I protect with professional level help if it's not me in there is the audio position.
Okay.
For house audio.
And we're here in the kids space. Is this almost always run by a volunteer?
Yeah, it's pretty much always a volunteer.
And what's the bar for entry? Do they have to be over a certain age? Is there a certain training level?
Yeah, we have some age limitations due to like ministry safe compliances that we want to follow by just to protect people. And then training level, this is one of our rooms that we use as like a training ground just to get them in the door into the production realm.
Okay.
If they've never done it before.
Yeah. And so can you walk us through the system, talk about some ways to make it very quickly learnable for your volunteers, very easy, and also reduce headaches for you so you're not having to constantly come back and do tech support?
Yeah, in this room, primarily, the backbone is like ProPresenter. So if we can train them how to use ProPresenter is doing a lot of macro control to other elements of the system. But then we also have a QSys system in here. So startup and shutdown is easy, video selecting is easy. All of it kind of is central around QSys, but then ProPresenter is sending MIDI commands to Vista that's running on the same computer,
Okay.
rather than having them learn the lighting console, which is just faders, or run Vista separately from ProPresenter. It's just all kind of under one hood.
Yeah.
And it's made things pretty simple to get going. It's like if you can run PowerPoint, you can run ProPresenter if I don't teach you that. And then very basic audio control, just faders and little monitor adjustments.
How many mics do you typically run in here on a weekend?
So in this particular room, they do a tracks-based worship setup. So it's songs that we produced in-house that they play back through the playback app. And so they'll have a pair of stereo channels from the stage and then 2 or 3 vocal microphones, as well as a small host of wireless mics for teaching.
Okay, so volunteers not in here trying to mic a drum set, get a band set up.
Literally mixing some vocals with some tracks and video.
Okay, so they're managing very little on mixing.
Yep.
And then talk to us this, you said macros, you said fancy words. What is a macro?
Yeah, I would describe a macro as something that one function does these things underneath of that.
Okay.
So in ProPresenter, if you're familiar with macros in ProPresenter, I could have this one thing that I drag over a slide trigger all of these downstream elements. So in this instance, I'm using macros to send MIDI commands to Vista. In another instance in our worship center, we might have a macro change an audience look for our lower thirds on our stream. Also change the stage display and trigger a countdown timer all with a click of a slide.
So, I'm dumbing it down for myself because I don't understand fancy things.
Sure.
So when you click a song on ProPresenter, if the macro is telling the Vista to change the lighting scene, there's not a lighting person changing the lighting scene. The software is already pre-programmed to change the lighting scene for that song.
That's right. So in Vista, I don't want to pretend like I'm a Vista expert here, but I know enough to do some damage. We have a set, like preset looks that I've said, okay, this thing has this MIDI number assigned, this MIDI note assigned to it. And they're all different colors that correspond to a slide that we have for the screen. So all I have to do is when we import a new song for our kids worship team, is just drag that MIDI command that corresponds to the color of the slide over the background, and then lights appropriate. Now they click it, and it triggers that light cue on stage.
Okay. And talk to me about this Stream Deck. I see these Stream Decks everywhere now.
Yeah. So the Stream Deck, for us, in rooms like this, we use this just quick little button press. I don't have to remember this keyboard shortcut because volunteers a lot of times won't remember all the things that I do all the time. So we program quick little keystrokes that do something for ProPresenter specifically. But then in our worship center, where we have a bunch of hodgepodge systems that don't all talk to each other, we'll use Stream Deck to kind of centralize some commands that I want to volunteer to do this thing, but they might not have a dive down into the video panel.
Yeah.
but we try to keep it away from mission critical elements.
So volunteer walks in here on a Sunday morning. What's the time? What are the steps to get the system up and running and ready to go? And literally, how long does that take them?
Yeah, so if a volunteer were to do that, a lot of times we'll come through and kind of preemptively boot up the room. But if a volunteer were to come in there and do that, I can just shut it down and show you how quick it is to boot up. So I've turned off the projector and audio system, and I'm unplugging the lights, and it's going to fall back over to our in-house system. It's as simple as hit our village logo on the screen, select our room mode, that kicks on the projector, and it routes audio from the console to QSys. I plug in the lighting console, so it's outputting DMX to the room, and it automatically picks back up where ProPresenter and Vista left off, just like that. The room is ready to go.
Got it. And how badly can a volunteer screw this thing up?
Not too bad. I feel like we've foolproofed it as much as we can.
How quickly, if it gets, somebody presses a wrong button and they're kind of freaking out, how fast can you get back to zero?
How fast can we get back to zero? It's a good question. I don't know. We haven't had some, after we've done this, it's been pretty straightforward for us. But if we need to, literally, we tell people unplug that and hit the panel, and you've got presets that we've programmed in that look similar to what Vista has done. So there are some fail-safes.
And you said you use this as a training opportunity as well for new volunteers?
Yeah, so if I've got somebody who doesn't know a lick about production, a lot of times we'll start them on a camera and teach them on one of the stationary cameras and just pan and tilt and zoom and focus, or we'll bring them into a kids' village space like this and show them the basics of the audio console, mainly faders, mutes, aux sims. Show them the basics of ProPresenter, show them the basics of QSys. And then from here, if they show aptitude and desire to do more, then let's just start punching that.
And how long do you think it takes a volunteer that's never done this before to come in, go through training, and be ready to run this space on Sunday morning?
Depending on the volunteer, I might have them shadow the first service, and the next service they might be sitting in there with the other volunteer shadowing them. Otherwise, we'll shadow a weekend or two and give them time if they want to, as frequently as they can come. And it could be a couple of weekends, it could be 3 weekends, depending on the things.
And before you had this set up with QSys with the Stream Deck, was it more complicated? Was it more prone to user error? Like, what lessons had you learned over the years?
I think it could have been prone to user error. I think it also could have just been we were in here troubleshooting things. So QSys has simplified it for us, and now it is just an easier, don't have to think about this really.
So iterations like this, are you able to essentially copy and paste different ministries?
Most of our multi-purpose spaces where we host multiple kinds of events all are QSys background. So this user interface looks just like other QSys user interfaces.
So volunteer can come to this room, go to the youth room, go to a different room, and they already know what they're doing.
For the most part,
Love it. And anything you're dreaming of changing around in this setup in the next few years?
And this room has needed an overhaul also. It's been in here for a while, but I'm going to reorient this room hopefully to where the stage is over here and the booth is on that end. We can optimize this space better for kids ministry and give it an update and bring the screen down and just do all kinds of things to make it more friendly for kids worship.
And typically you guys are staffed with 2 or 3 full-time on your production team?
We're 2 currently. We're hiring a 3rd hopefully sooner than later, and we've got 50 to 60 volunteers serving our spaces.
And so I assume there are spots where your staff needs to be ideally on Sunday mornings.
That's right.
This isn't one of them.
Correct.
So you need to make it as volunteer-friendly as possible. Love it. Well, if you're looking for unique ways to make your setups more volunteer-friendly at your church, if you have limited staff, or just need a great place to train people, this is a beautiful system. QSys Stream Deck, these simple setups where it's a real quick get up and running and you're ready to rock.
Hey, thanks so much for watching that video. We know how difficult it is to keep Sundays running at your church, and we know a lot of it is about the gear. So we want to give you an exclusive 5% additional off anything, even if we're running a sale. Additional 5% off, grab the code in the video description below.